but we're going to take this game even further and revive the actual country. Thank you very much.
Last question.
Would you consider Donald Trump as a vice president?
I would. I think he could be an excellent vice president. And I think it's a pretty good role in this country. It's actually is. I'd say I would take him as a top advisor and mentor. Certainly that first year in office during the transition, I like that. And you know what? If I were in his shoes, I think that'd be a pretty good bet too. He doesn't have to go through that hell again.
Pretty good gig.
I mean, it could be a pretty good gig. Let me do the work, and then actually, we'll take to use some of that experience. So I think that's not a crazy idea. What's your name?
Gary.
What's your last name?
Fox.
Gary Fox, a good name too. Well, you know what? If that's what ends up happening, we're going to give Gary Fox the credit for it. Because actually, the true answer to that question is absolutely. And the titles don't matter. It's a question of who's going to play the role of what moves this country forward to the next level. I think I've got to be leading from the front to really reach that next generation. So I'm going to play my part, and I'm going to ask Trump to play his. And so if he's the nominee, he'll have my full support. I expect to be the nominee, and I expect his full support as well.
One other quick thing. You have to be careful to answer this because of the media. Are you going to, on day one, are you going to be a dictator like Donald said he was going to be?
I'm going to be an executor. And I'm going to be not just an executor, but an executioner of the administrative state. That's what it's going to take. And so I'll just tell you this in closing, guys. Is we don't have to be that nation in decline. And we're taught to believe that. I don't think we have to be. We don't have to be ancient Rome. I think as a nation right now, we are actually a little young, if I may say so. Going through our own version of adolescence right now. Figuring out who we're going to be when we grow up. And when you view it that way, it all makes sense again, actually. You go through that adolescence, you go through that identity crisis. You lose your way a little bit, right? You do some stupid things. Most of us probably did. But we are stronger for it when we get to our adulthood on the other side. So no, I don't think we have to be that nation in decline. I think we can still be a nation in our ascent. Maybe even the early stages of our ascent, actually. I'm not going to be the guy who walks in here and tells you it's morning in America, guys. I know it sounds good, but it's not. But it can be. I'm not going to tell you the American dream is alive and well. It's not. It's alive and it's hanging on for life support. But it can be. So if you all do your part on January 15th, and between now and January 15th, we got our team here. I love some precinct captains in this room. I can feel the energy in this room. You're all kind of people. Stand for this country. It's not Trump first, it's not Vivek first, it's America first. Okay, you guys come out as a precinct captain, volunteer for us, spread this message to 100 people who weren't in this room today. That's how we're going to shock the world on January 15th. 30 minutes of your time that night to save this country. You all do your part. I promise you, Apurva, my wife, and I, we're going to do ours to make sure, not in some cheesy politician kind of way, but just in a true way, make sure that our country's best days are actually still ahead of us. Thank you guys for coming out today.